Hey loves, today we're going to talk about divine guidance and how to act upon it, because many times when we are manifesting our specific person, we begin to think we know that we have to assume and imagine as if we already have it. But many times when it comes to divine guidance, we might get a little confused because we start to think, or we might ask ourselves, but I didn't think we were supposed to take any action when we're manifesting a specific person. I thought we just imagine it and that's it. And yes, that is the case, but you're given encouragement or desire through the act of divine guidance that is going to create the outcome in your reality in the quickest way possible. In the same way that when you begin to imagine already being with your specific person, the bridge of events is going to formulate in order to create and bring it to you in the easiest way possible. Your specific person basically isn't going to just pop up in your reality. And if they do, there will be a specific logical backstory as to why. And this is actually something Neville Goddard talked about a lot in his books, in his lectures, things like that. And that's actually how we see everything kind of manifest in our reality. Now, does this mean that we can't manifest instantaneously? No, it doesn't mean that way at all. But everything that's going to occur is always in alignment to what we feel is logical. And I could go into a whole nother video about logic, because logical isn't something that is universal. Something that is logical is just in accordance with your state. So if we're in a state of being single, it's not logical for our specific person to text us right here and right now, or tomorrow, or to go on a date with us. So the bridge of events from that state and from that way of being is going to be more difficult than if you were to feel as if you were already with your specific person in the perfect relationship. Then it seems very logical that they text you tomorrow and you go on a date with your specific person. That all makes sense, and thus is something that we would manifest basically instantaneously, but the bridge of events would always be in alignment with what we are thinking, or basically what we are assuming. And so when it comes to divine guidance, there's actually something and a law that we can actually use to help us out with that. Because when you're in the state, you're going to be guided to do something specific, right? You're going to feel very passionate, very motivated to do this or to do that. And technically, I would say it's automatic. It's not actually something you have to think about. When you're in the state, anything you do is going to align with the outcome you want. But the law I actually wanted to talk about today, so you can act upon this divine guidance and not let it pass you by. But really, if it passes you by, any divine guidance is going to come again. Or it's basically when you see or have the feeling of divine guidance, you are seeing perfectly the path from where you are to your specific person. There is a perfect path created and it's available to you in that moment. And so the law that we want to think about is something called the law of diminishing intent. So this just states when we have an idea or something comes into our mind, like a divine guidance concept, we want to act on it immediately. Otherwise, over time, it will slowly diminish. This intention for this outcome is slowly going to go away from us. So that's why when you feel motivated, passionate, abundant, in alignment with whatever it is that you want, whether it be your specific person, wealth, some other manifestation, when you feel passionate and in the moment, there's so much to do, right? Your mind is just running with all these possible positive outcomes, and there's like a million things to do, or things that you feel guided to do or compelled to do. But the law of diminishing intent would say at that current moment in time, with law of assumption, you have basically opened up a perfect path to your specific person or to whatever manifestation you are doing. You are basically seeing and about to go upon the perfect bridge of events from where you are to where you want to be. Because remember, to your assumption, any means that realize the outcome that you're desiring are going to be good. So it will use everyone and everything. So yes, everyone and everything is always working out in your favor in order to take you from where you are to your specific person. So when you have divine guidance, you want to act on it, because in that moment, you are on the quickest and fastest path to your manifestation and to your specific person. But if we don't act upon it in that moment, or we second guess ourselves, or we allow our previous sense of self or our previous state to get within our mind and stop us from this action, then what's going to happen is this law of diminishing intent will occur, and we will begin to change, or who we are in the bridge of events will start to change into something different. And that's why then we no longer feel passionate to do a specific outcome. Now, if you are thinking, oh my gosh, does this mean when I'm manifesting and I have divine guidance and I don't act upon it, it means I can't manifest my specific person? No, that's not the case at all. Just in the current moment, with all of your assumptions and everything in your external reality aligned as it is, that action was just the quickest one to take you to where you want to go. And so in another moment, you will have another passionate, motivating, divine guidance come to you, and you could just act on that. But because there's an infinite amount of ways from where you are to where you want to go, your mind, when in the state, just instantly can see, or it's basically revealed by our higher self or our subconscious, the quickest way. And so that's that passion, motivation, the desire to do something specific in order to take you to where you want to go. So whenever you do have divine guidance, I would say act on it, because really your manifestation is so much closer than you think it is by a lot. Like you, based on your circumstances, based on everything happening in your reality, your manifestation is so much closer than you think it is. And so when we think about divine guidance, I know we think, yeah, but what if this, what if that, what if our mind wants to go to the most negative outcome sometimes, but that doesn't matter, because acting on this divine guidance, allowing this passion to guide you, you can never go wrong. Because remember, you cannot act from an incorrect outcome, or you can't take an incorrect action when you're in the state. That's because when you're in the state, everything you're doing is creating a positive outcome, and you can't not act on the bridge of events that takes you to where you want to go. So I would take a moment, and before you do anything, remember, divine guidance begins and is only spoken when we are in the state of already having what we want. So before you think about doing or acting in any way, because you don't actually have to take massive action, divine guidance never feels difficult, never feels hard, never feels strained. The only time it could feel that way is if it is our previous state or sense of self trying to stop us from doing this. Like if you get the intention to go see your specific person, but your mind is like, but no, there's this circumstance and that circumstance stopping you, that's the only time it will feel hard. But in that moment, when you're feeling as if you already have your specific person, it's going to feel easy, automatic, and effortless, because we just want to remember everything is acted upon the bridge of events. And sometimes I find people in not only coaching sessions, but just around me when people are talking about their manifestation, they find themselves in a state where they're imagining and thinking from the end, but their previous sense of self stops them from doing or acting in their reality as the individual that already has it. Because divine guidance is basically the sense of being in your day-to-day life like the person, or consciously becoming the individual that already has their specific person. And so obviously, in order to manifest in the quickest way possible, we want to act upon that outcome. And when I tell you that your specific person is a month away, a week away, a day away, a few moments away, this is true to your reality, because when you're in that sense of self, so when you're experiencing and being the individual that already has what you want, it makes sense logically that they would text you, call you, you'd go on a date. It would make no sense for that not to happen. It would actually be more bizarre for that not to occur when you're in the state of already having it. And the bridge of events always happens in a way that seems logical to us. But remember, just to recap, logic is just in accordance to what we feel makes sense for our state. So a millionaire, it makes sense for them to get $1 million today, but for the homeless, poverty-stricken individual on the street, that makes no sense. They both are just as close to that outcome as the other, even though it doesn't seem like it in the 3D, but they absolutely are. It's just their internal state and their sense of self that is eliminating them from experiencing the other individual's state. So the wealthy person has no way of experiencing or basically creating the opposite poverty-stricken individual's life in the same way of the opposite until they change their state. So right now, it may feel like there is a lot of time in between you and your manifestation, but it's just coming from your state of who you think and feel you are in the current moment. And as you begin to get into the state, you are given this divine guidance, and don't even worry about what to do. So divine guidance is kind of like worrying what to do. Don't never think about what to do. Just act on what feels right after getting into the state, because I would say you're never meant to know how your manifestation shows up, but you can see it. So I've seen this in my own experience. You can see the outcomes of how it makes sense when you're in the state. Like, it'll make sense why it may not make sense now, but once you get into the state, it makes sense why your specific person would text you tomorrow, why they would be constantly thinking about you, why you guys would be together next week, right? It just makes sense when we're in the state. So if you want to act this out, which I know you are, and you're going to manifest the best manifestation success, and you're going to comment them in the comment section below, focus on the state first. Don't do anything until you are thinking of focusing on inhabiting and living the state of already being with your specific person. And it doesn't have to be anything intense. You can literally take a moment right now and think of something that you are going to do with your specific person after you're together. Think of something that has a high emotional attachment. So maybe it's your honeymoon. Think of how amazing your honeymoon is going to be with your specific person. That's all you have to do. Or any kind of situation or imaginative act that's going to come following exactly what you desire. Find one that is very emotional as well, because that's what I do, and it really puts you into the state and makes you will see a totally different reality. You will be in a dimensionally larger reality just by getting into that state, and things that were once impossible will become possible to you in the moment, because again, you've already manifested your specific person. You've already created and done everything you want to do. All we have to do is get into the state and have that visualization realized outside of us. Literally, that's it. So focus on the state first, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, and you're going to be able to manifest exactly what you want. Again, when you do manifest that success, make sure to comment in the comment section below. If you did have any questions, make sure to leave them there as well. If you did want to send me a personal question, you can always head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. That's where you can reach me personally if there's a question you just didn't want to comment below. And don't worry, if you do send it over, I do receive a lot of questions, but I want to make sure I answer everyone's, because you are so much closer to your manifestation than you think you are, and you have the ability to manifest and create the outcome regardless of what has happened in the past. So if it takes me a little bit of time to get back to you, don't worry. I see it. I'm in the process of giving you the best answer, because I want to make sure that you get to your manifestation in the best way possible. But if you do love this video, you like this idea, and you're going to act on it right here and right now, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video, and then don't forget to subscribe as well. And if nothing else, I can't wait to see you with your specific person, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.